Cheers to episode 18.
Cheers.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Ever heard of her? Stronger seltzer, 8%, wild berry, 12 ounces in a can.
Blue Gatorade in a plastic bottle.
So, we are recording on Tuesday, April 27th, 2021 at 7:24 p.m. And the future of the Detroit Lions will be decided this week. Does that make you guys nervous?
Yes, but no, because our future's never really been bright. So, no, I'm not that nervous.
Future's always been bright. The present's just been bad in the past.
No, I'm not scared. I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
I would say I'm excited but nervous as well because you never know what's going to happen in the draft. And you never know what teams in front of us are going to do to cause us to maybe do a stupid move or a smart move.
Some trickery in front of us. So the future of the Detroit Lions will be decided tonight by us, which you'll get to listen to tomorrow when this comes out. Before we get into that, our full mock draft of the Lions, let's do our classic weekly check-ins here that everyone loves to see what's going on in our lives. So, Alex, what's new with you this week?
Well, had golf yesterday. I'd probably just start with that because I didn't do much else.
How'd you golf?
Not my best. I shot a 40. Just didn't have it. Hit a lot of trees. Putter was cold. Hands were cold. Just didn't have it. It's just as simple as that. And then other than that, I'm doing fine. Draft is on Thursday, and I'm very excited for that. So
You can hear it in your voice.
yep, I'm thrilled.
Had golf league also on yesterday, so Monday. Shot decent, way better than the previous week, so I'm happy about that. Wind was a factor, a little chilly to be playing golf in Michigan. Slow start, but I finished strong. Wink on the course, of course. So I was happy about that. It was fun.
So any birdies?
This weekend had travel baseball. We finished second in our tournament. Who cares? I don't care about where we finish. It's about how we play, and we played decent at best. We beat the crap out of the really bad teams, and then when we faced a good team, we kind of laid an egg. So
How old are these kids?
11U.
Any studs? Any MLB prospects on that 11-year-old team?
Absolutely not. Probably not. It's probably mean to say, but probably not.
Well,
You don't have any friend. You don't have any friend.
Nothing in the pipeline.
Not for my team.
And did you
There's
see any
talent. There's talent in the organization.
Yeah.
I would say so.
coaching talent? Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, coaching talent right here. You're looking at it.
Skipper. Do they call you Skipper?
No,
Boss?
most of them call me by my first name. So
Skip?
no, and we played Saturday morning at 9:30, and I think it was below freezing.
Love that.
I was just thinking when you said you had a tournament about the weather this weekend. I was like, that is just one of those weekends where you're like, what am I doing with why are we playing baseball right now?
You know,
Oh,
we grinded out a game at 9:30, won 3-2, move on to advance. It was awesome.
it's a pretty competitive 11U game with solid defense, good pitching, or just a lack of hitting.
There was no defense. There was lack of hitting.
What was the final score in the final?
We lost by 8. Had 2-1 lead. Had a 2-0 lead after the first inning.
Oh,
Then it was 2-1 after 2, and then the wheels fell off in the inning. Gave up like 5 runs. Had a couple errors, and downhill from there.
How is the fielding at age 11? Pretty good?
You get like 1 or 2 like decent plays, or 1-2 kids that like know how to field, and then sometimes it just like.
are you like still believe in small ball as a manager? Or are you like, let's walk and then hit dingers?
I wish I could do small ball because it's a lot easier and it's hard to defend at that age. But
Very hard.
most of my kids don't know how to bunt, or they're scared to bunt because they're still scared of the ball, which is
Right.
embarrassing.
Right.
So we don't do it. I just hopefully they get a base hit.
All right. Well, I look forward to those storylines continuing. And I think for the golf league, you guys should give a quick recap of like where the standings are, where you guys both your two sums are at in the standings, just so they know as we go on.
Well, my team first week lost by a point. This week we lost by 4 points. Partner is struggling a bit. Dad, if you're listening, you're struggling a bit. Let's figure it out. Maybe hit the range, and then we'll be back on track.
After last week's terrible performance, I was in second to last place, so 13th out of 14 teams. But we bounced back this week. We got a win by 2 points. Took 16 of the 30 points, so probably middle of the pack now, I'm guessing.
The standings don't come out till midweek. So
Okay.
we don't know.
Gotcha. Were you probably in the middle range too, or towards the
I
bottom?
think we were 6th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there out of 14. So we're above average.
Evan, your soccer team, because we don't really talk about soccer on this, your soccer team had a nice result today, as they say, a draw.
Yeah, draw, but it would be like to come away with a victory, especially at home. Got out to an early lead.
Who's your team
And
for the
then-
people listening?
Chelsea.
Oh, good question. Good job. Great.
Got out to a lead, and then the second half, it was downpouring, and it kind of was
gross.
just like don't give up a goal for both teams.
Yeah, Pulisic had a disgusting goal.
How'd your team do?
They play tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Or
who's
today.
Who's your team? For the
Manchester City. Who's your team?
Are they in it?
people?
Oh, man.
Just lost in the Caribou Cup final. Oh, it's tough.
To Manchester City.
Yes, Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham.
Tottenham
Your must hurt too because your manager, your ex-manager,
just got sacked.
No, your ex-manager is now the manager. Well, your second ex-manager is now the manager of PSG, who Manchester City plays in the semifinals tomorrow.
Who we sacked for
Who
a
we
new
sacked.
guy who after a season we just sacked again. So now we have no one.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire. I basically cheer for the Lions in the Premier League.
You know?
No, just kidding. Much better than them.
Who is? The
Top?
Lions are better?
No.
Oh.
At least they're a top 7 team in the league.
What?
No, it's not debatable. The standings would say so.
For me, keeping it European, I am doing my rewatch and first watch of Game of Thrones. So I am, and that would make more sense if you listen to the Snake Draft Game of Thrones, if that interests you. But we talked about how I hadn't watched the middle seasons really. So now I'm doing that. I am on episode 2 of season 2. My findings, quick segment of my findings. Sansa's insufferable right now. Robb Stark's balling. Littlefinger did Ned Stark dirty, but he should have known better. Jon Snow was about to leave the Night's Watch, and Samwell Tarly and his buddies convinced him to come back. That I forgot about.
I wonder if he ends up leaving.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out. You want to tell me that he dies and comes back to life like you told Evan?
I've never seen the show.
Oh, well, you're a liar. So now I don't know if anyone can take the rest of what you say on this show seriously.
I'm not wearing underwear.
I don't know what to do with that. Now, since we're shot of Michigan sports, we're going to get back really into the nitty-gritty of Michigan sports here and do a Detroit Lions full 7-rounder. So we would call it a 7-round mocker. Isn't that what you called it last episode?
Mocker.
Yep. So some guidelines that you guys can push back on if you want. This is kind of revealing it on the fly here. I think we should do a trade minimum and maximum. I think we're allowed to do trades, but I'm thinking maybe we can only do a max of 2 trades during this whole thing. Because I was just trying to think about in my head, most teams aren't doing a ton of crazy trades on draft night, but 2 gives us the flexibility that if we want to trade back and also trade up for someone if we need to, I'm not saying we will or won't, it gives us the flexibility to do so. Because I've done one of these before where I just traded back every time, and you end up having 50 picks, and it's just not realistic. So
Super cool.
we got to put some handcuffs on ourselves. What do you guys think trade-wise?
I think maximum 2, I guess, because you said that. I would go maximum 1, but you didn't like that.
I'm open to it. 1 trade. You get to make 1.
I think 2 is a good number.
2 it is.
Do we want to do where 1 has to be a trade up if we use the second one, or could they both be trade downs?
I think it doesn't matter.
Open-ended trades.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. So we have that. we want to make any pre-draft trades?
No.
I don't really. I kind of want to see what happens.
Correct.
I also am, just so you guys are aware, I'm going to be doing a timer for our picks like the actual NFL draft, so we will have a 10-minute shot clock when we get to our pick. So that will probably raise everyone's sweat levels. Because if we don't get it in, then I think we forfeit our pick to the Packers. Started the draft. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, huge for Alex. Jamar Chase, Panay. We can redo it, and then I'll start the clock, but we'll just do a quick recap. So, Trevor Lawrence went 1.
Looks pretty good to
Zach
me.
Wilson went 2. Justin Fields went 3 to the 49ers. Jamar Chase went 4 to Atlanta. Penei Sewell to the Bengals. Devonta Smith, 6 to Miami. So we are 7. I'm going to start our clock now. So
You go first, Grant. Talk to us. Who do you
Well,
think?
super surprised Kyle Pitts fell.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people love him. I see we have 28 trade offers, so that gets me entertained.
Kyle Pitts is
the only
extremely
name.
intriguing.
Kyle Pitts is the only name that I'm surprised is here.
Agreed. Yeah. Big name.
Evan, what do you think? I'm not saying I want to take him.
I'm not either,
we're supposed to act like this is the actual draft. All right.
what do
Yeah,
you mean?
like this is our war room. Like we are the Lions.
We are drafting.
I understand that. We are in the war room. We're drafting.
and we have 9 minutes.
Oh, we got plenty of time. All right, so
No.
I can get out what I honestly think about Kyle Pitts. I don't want him.
Whoa.
I'll pass on him
Do you hate it?
because we don't. It's not a position of need right now
He didn't
for
say
us.
hate.
I agree. It's not a position of need. It's just like that shiny Camaro
But
or
how
Porsche that you see.
Cool would our 2 tight end offense be?
He's not a tight end. He's a wide
Yeah,
receiver.
he's
He
not a
will
tight
not
end.
block for us.
You can line him up there though.
Not a type.
Anthony Lynn, our offensive coordinator, who's sitting with us today. We're kind of be run heavy first, play action pass. Will Kyle Pitts be out there often? Yes, but will we be out there to block? No.
So what do we think?
I'm good with not doing a quarterback. I don't think I like either of the 2 that are left enough to take them.
I will also say we should pass on QB. Don't need one.
I think it's too high to take Micah Parsons. I know we did it in our auto draft, but that's because we couldn't trade. If I was evaluating defense,
But who do you want to take over him? That was what I need to hear.
I would sleep at night fine taking Kyle Pitts right here. But
I think I'd rather have Waddle than Pitts.
you're kind of the whoa. I would walk out of the war room if we took Waddle here. I don't have anything against the guy. I don't know. That's just on me. I don't like him as much. And I think there's wideouts that could help us like Waddle later in this draft. I think
agree.
that position is deep.
I agree
We
with
can
you.
think about that.
Later. Yes. But then I don't think we need Kyle Pitts if we're taking a wideout later. We have Hawk Daddy. We don't need Pitts. Pitts is taking a receiver, basically. That's what you would be doing.
I think it's taking like a faster Travis Kelce.
He's
Which
a receiver.
sounds
He's
awesome.
a wideout.
Who is?
Kyle Pitts is listed as a tight end, and he is a wideout.
But I think his comp is like a Darren Waller, Travis Kelce type player.
Nah,
I think he's actually is like Darren Waller, and I think that would be awesome. But I understand not doing it. And you're
What's
hesitant.
our team's biggest problem? Defense.
Well, if you look at our biggest need, it's a WR.
Kyle Pitts isn't even on my big board because I didn't think he'd be there.
I know. That's
It's
why
hard
it feels
for me
like
to know.
he fell into our lap 7 minutes left. And it's like, let's just
See some trades.
look at some trades.
We might have great offers for Pitts.
Now we have to keep in mind, I'm going to pull it up, how far down are we comfortable going? Because you got to think Pitts is going to go here. Whoever trades with us probably will take Pitts or quarterback. So there's going to be like Slaters and Parsons and other good players in the beginning of the teens. So Denver wants our pick.
Just to go back to 9, what are they offering?
Well, we have to ask them what we want. So then it's good. And if you fail a couple times, then they go off the board.
Well,
You got to tell me what team you want to trade with, or Evan too. I don't need 9. I can go down to 10 or 11 and be fine. I think we can get more from them because they're jumping up more slots.
yeah, I'll go 11. I would go as far as like 14. Honestly,
I don't know about that.
I'll go as far as 15 is my max. I
You would go to
drop
15?
down.
Yeah,
You're
go
losing
14,
value
15.
with the players you're drafting, and the positions that we need aren't really in that range.
I'm hoping Micah Parsons falls to the mid-teens, 14, 15, 13.
This is the thing. Who's going to actually trade up in that position? Are the Vikings willing to trade up? Yes, but I think they're willing to trade up for a tackle.
All right.
Okay, Chargers. Are they willing to trade up? Yes. There's rumors out there. They accidentally posted a
Yeah, they did.
tweet saying that they traded up 2 spots for the Giants. They got deleted.
All right. Do you guys want? Wait. Do you guys want to do? Here's my. Let's do. We start with Denver, and we'll go fast here, and we'll see who we can get the most from. And if it's 9 and we get what we want, then we can just move on and worry about it then. So I think
Pitts will still be on the board if we trade with Denver.
9-40. Yeah, they're going for a quarterback.
No, I think he'll go to someone.
9-40.
No, we should. You could fail a couple of times, so we should ask for the most.
But we're running out of time.
We still have 5 minutes. We can do this fast. All right. So are you guys good? This is a starting offer. We swap first, and we get their second and third.
Yep.
If they say no, then we have to think outside the box.
Offer.
We're going to accept this.
I don't think so. They did. They took it.
So we moved to 9.
So we just traded to 9 with the Broncos. All right.
And they're taking a QB.
We're resuming our draft. They took Lance. And then Kyle Pitts went at 8. So we did not get Pitts.
Now we're right back in the same spot.
The Lion fans are going to roast. So we have 1 trade left, but it's be kind of dirty to do it here. I don't think we can trade.
Can't cheat the people like that.
Do you guys feel like there was a wind out of our sails that we didn't get Kyle Pitts?
No, I don't really.
No, I'm happy he's off the board. So
I didn't
we don't
really
have
want
to
him.
flirt with that anymore, and I don't have to argue with you saying that we should draft Kyle Pitts.
Well, Alex's guy that he said we wanted was there. I don't want to do that. I think there's fine wideouts later in this draft.
I'm a Parsons guy.
I'm looking at my big board, and there's a lot of wideouts available. I also personally think that there's some solid linebackers later in this draft.
Parsons could change the landscape of your franchise. He's that talented. I personally would go Parsons. If you're thinking Slater here, defense, linebacker particularly, is a much more position of need. We have a pretty good O-line. I don't think
we have a good left side of our line.
I don't think we need Slater here. I just don't. I think we should go Micah Parsons. We don't have a linebacker. Alex Anzalone is not the answer.
I'm not saying he is.
That's my thoughts. I think Parsons. That's my vote.
I think tackles are worth more in the NFL.
I think Parsons. I mean, I let Evan talk.
Evan's going to go Parsons.
I like Slater. I just don't know if tackle's really more important.
I have guys. We might not be able to. They'll probably be gone. But Owusu Cormo will probably be gone unless we trade up.
He's out.
Zaven Collins could be around for the second round, and Jabril Cox could be around. And I think all those guys would be a huge upgrade to the. Yes, there's a gap between them and Parsons. Zaven Collins, maybe not. Zaven Collins is an absolute freak. He is a stud at football, and I think getting him in the second would be awesome for the Lions. And I think tackle-wise, I don't know enough about deep round tackles, and I feel like Slater is a no-brainer, could play right tackle for us week 1.
The last time I drafted a tackle in the top 10 or 13, was it Decker? No-brainer prospect. Not that great.
Are you kidding me?
He's all right.
Tyler Decker is very good.
Taylor
is very good.
He's all right.
He's very good.
He's not an all-pro.
He's very good.
He's not an all-pro.
He's very good in the NFL.
I think if we go Slater here, he will slide into that right tackle spot. That was a revolving door last year. We could also move him inside if we feel comfortable.
That's a good point.
You're building depth on the offensive line. Parsons is the best linebacker in the draft by far. I mean, you're picking hairs here now. Do I like Parsons? Yes. Would Slater be a solid pick for the foundation of going forward? Absolutely, too.
Because I'm just thinking,
I don't think
in 2 years, if we end up moving off of Goff, then we can bring in a rookie quarterback or a new quarterback into a good offensive line, almost a great offensive line like the Colts, and it'd probably be easier adjustment. Or Jared Goff
picks next year though.
Or Jared Goff will be very good.
I would have rather traded down to 13 and take Slater or Parsons and then have.
Slater wouldn't be getting
one
past.
Of them would be gone.
Slater wouldn't get past the Giants.
Yeah, I told you I would take Parsons. That's my vote, and I'm locking it in. So you guys can vote, and then you can take Slater if that's what you want to do. I don't agree.
Is it because you don't think Slater's flashy enough? Is it because it's boring?
No, I think Detroit Lions defense is the worst defense in the NFL. You're not going to get better on defense by drafting a tackle. I mean, it's that simple. You didn't fix your defense in the offseason. You have nothing. You have no talent on defense at all. You have talent on your offensive line.
But what if there's linebackers there for you in the second round that you know can be good? Well, there will be at least one. And
there's going to be tackles that are
solid.
drafted later on that are going to end up being good in the NFL too. That's how it works.
It's less likely.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. Tackles outside the first round usually aren't that good.
I just don't think tackle is like a number one position of need unless... No, I just wouldn't. I would go Parsons. The defense is literally terrible. And I know you hate the literally word, but that's how bad they are. They have nothing. They have no talent.
So mean to say it about Alex Anzalone.
I'm sorry, he's not the
And for people wondering, I reset the draft clock, obviously, because we traded, so we got like another full 10. We got 4 minutes left still. Evan, what are you thinking? Just go crazy and go Jalen Waddle? Let's just do it.
You just scroll down and just pick one, see what happens.
Let me look at this real quick. Where's my... they're called OTs on this. So Slater, Vera Tucker's going to be gone. Walker Little, no. This guy, I don't like. You got an Alabama guy. You got Clemson
saying tackle
and a Notre
is
Dame
not
guy.
as necessary. If we're trying...
I think it is,
in a
though. That's
couple
what we
years,
disagree. I think
why can't we just sign a really good tackle
I think
if we're about to
if
contend?
there's one unit that you need to be awesome and on rookie deals, it's your line.
Yes.
Cowboys.
Our line is...
Colts. Like teams that aren't like incredible, but like they contend because they have awesome lines. And I think Jared Goff would love that and love us for that. And instead of getting him a flashy wide out there when it says again in the first round, we're getting him someone that's gonna protect the front of his face. Linebackers wise,
Crosby wasn't that bad last year at the other tackle spot. Wasn't awful.
I don't feel comfortable with
totally
him there.
serviceable.
You got Parsons, Cormoa, Bolton. I'm just saying in this 34 to 46 range, which we pick in 40 and 41, one of those guys is going to be there for sure to take. So there's that position if we want to go there. It's a tough draft pick. I understand why people.
I think Micah Parsons is like franchise-altering defensive player. I really do. I think he'll be that good.
I get nervous about him.
Why? Because he didn't play last year. Neither did Slater.
That's not why. But thank you for assuming that.
Well, you said it. That's not assuming.
I just think he's very raw at the linebacker position.
He's extremely talented and a freak athlete.
Anyone we pick right here, you can say the same about outside of Mac Jones, the extremely freak athlete part. They're all talented. They're all incredibly talented.
Best defensive player in the draft. You have a chance to take
A linebacker at 9, that goes against everything you stand for.
You have a chance to take him when you have the worst defense in the league, and you have a chance to take the best defensive player in the draft, and you want to pass on. Just want to make sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, then I got outvoted. What am I going to do about it? I can't do
no,
anything.
it's tied. Comes down to Evan, which he hates.
We
Evan, I'll be okay
You're
either
the
way. I'm
GM.
not sure if Alex will be.
are the GM, and we're building this roster for Dan Campbell.
Who wants
Yeah,
to run
I
the
think
ball,
he's
so
a-
maybe you want to attack. But you can't win games if you give up 50 points every night.
The NFL is
Scheme
moving to a
fit.
shootout.
We are
Your
not
scheme
the
fit, so the defense will automatically be better than what Poncho wearing guy did last year. I'm happy with either pick. I understand why. I like Slater's versatility on the offensive line because I think he will play guard a little bit, maybe. But he also can go into tackle and start right away. And then Parsons, your linebacker, they'll start for the next 7 to 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, you got to vote. It's just how it goes. I mean, I'm fine if we take Slater, but I just think Parsons, that would be like a tough miss if he becomes a Hall of Famer and you took a tackle when you had the worst defense in the league. That would suck.
I get it. Tackles aren't flashy. They're not.
No, they're
cool.
important, extremely important. But when your defense is the number one problem on your team, why would you address it with the most talented player?
Maybe he's not that good.
We're going.
Based on what?
The pick is in. We're going Rashawn Slater.
Jesus.
Rashawn Slater,
It's a terrible pick.
the first pick in the
And
Lions.
you know why? Because some people have him ranked higher than Piani Sewell, as he is the best tackle in the draft, and he's rated out that way. He did
This backboard went.
well versus.
We got it in. Sorry.
Just think.
He did well versus Chase Young.
Oh, look at this. The athletic big board had Rashawn Slater above Michael Parsons.
That's fine.
Great
Daniel
pick,
Jeremiah
Evan.
has Rashawn Slater above Sewell.
didn't draft position of need.
We
just
didn't. We
just
took
went away
the
from
best
it
player.
after you said that's what all teams do, and then you decided not to do it.
I think a lot of them do. I didn't, but that doesn't mean I wanted to do it.
I see.
You're upset.
Well,
Do you have to sit out the rest of the draft because your emotions
this
got
happens in
involved?
real life, and then he becomes a stud, and the Lions just don't address their defensive flaws, and the guy you draft in the second round isn't as good. Well, it'd be a bad miss.
Just because we took a tackle at 9 doesn't mean we're not going to address the defense. We have.
I said we will address
We
the
made it.
defense.
Well, maybe.
No, we will. I'll force it.
No,
Yes, I will.
you can't.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
the beauty of this
push
war
through.
room.
You won't have
We
a
all
choice.
work together.
I'll break your computer.
Evan, he's mad.
It's a bad pick.
He's so mad.
He likes being right, and
It's not
I
about
think it
being
is
right.
right.
I just think
You just like
the
fla-
Lions' defense is just terrible.
You like
Why would
flashy
wanna fix it?
players, and we took a
It's not
boring
about
player.
flash. Number one position in need on the team,
I would say wideout.
other than wideout. Tackles not.
So number 2 position of need on the team.
Depends
You
how
can
you
say it
see
that
it.
way.
Depends how you see it. Alex Anzalone is not a Pro Bowl middle linebacker.
No, could be.
No, probably not.
Could be. Could
No,
have a
it's
great-
very low probability.
We get 7 minutes for this one. Let me get you set up here, guys. Let's click 7. All right, ready? Click. Alex, you start us here.
I mean, I can't see who's available. You're gonna have to show me a little bit.
Right here.
It's hard to see.
So Walker Little, Dylan Radunz, 2 tackles. Elijah Molden, a safety. That's a position of need. Jamin Davis, a highly regarded linebacker out of Kentucky. Now, keep in mind we have back-to-back picks, boys. It doesn't really matter who we take first unless we want to trade the second one. Ronnie Perkins, edge rusher. Landon Dickerson. Diami Brown. Jabril Cox, linebacker out of LSU.
Yes.
Jamar Johnson, safety. You said yes to.
Jabril Cox is
You like
who I
Jabril?
would take because, I got screwed in the first round, and I think linebacker's still a massive need.
So you like linebacker here.
Yep, I
Evan,
do.
who do you see popping out? I'll keep scrolling for you.
I like linebacker as well. Safety or linebacker here for the next 2 picks. I do like Jabril Cox over Jamin Davis.
Me as well.
I agree. I watched a little bit of both today, and something about Jabril Cox is like instincts, his pass coverage. He's a little bit taller, I believe. I liked him a lot. I liked him
He's
better.
a little
than,
taller, a little more undersized, but his speed's kind of what they say, a sideline to sideline kind of guy.
A Jared Davis type, as they would say.
No, you
Jared
don't have to
Davis was a
It was a joke.
forward
It was a joke.
backwards.
Just a joke. Just a joke.
Obviously, our linebacking core is pretty not great, as we discussed in the first round pick. You have Jamie Collins getting paid a lot of money to be here. Tavai.
Linebacker course horrendous.
We've talked about him on previous podcasts. You brought in Anzalone as like a maybe prove it yourself guy.
He's listed as third string.
And then we have I'm missing the last guy. But there's another guy that's not you don't
Jalen
like.
Reeves Maven.
Yes. Aggressive special teams guy. Play a little bit outside linebacker. So we don't really know exactly what our defensive scheme will be. It probably will be a multiple type D the way they say. I think Aaron Glenn has a lot of 3-4 in his background, but he made it seem like they're going to go multiple based on what they have. I don't think that the staff, which is us, I guess, loves Tavai, and I personally don't think the real staff likes Tavai that much either. So I think they're going to be wanting to go linebacker, and I think we kind of want to go linebacker, at least with one of these picks, because we have back to back. I'm leaning Jabril Cox personally.
Me too.
Evan,
Pick is in.
the pick is in. The 40th pick in the NFL draft. The Lions take Jabril Cox, another player from a purple-colored school. Now, we're on the clock again. I will restart the 7 minutes. You may not need it. Now, this is, to me, there's 2 guys here that I would be okay taking. Elijah Molden, safety out of Washington. I think he's a solid player. He's not flashy. I think he has good ball instincts, made some decent picks. The guy that's flashy, though, where I think is the biggest position of need for us is wideout, is Diami Brown from North Carolina. I mean, honestly, I didn't know a ton about this guy. Like, during the college football season, I didn't watch a ton of ACC football, but I watched some YouTube videos on him recently, and I think, to me, when I watched him play, he almost was like a poor man's Jamar Chase-esque out of the ACC. He kind of looks like him, moves like him, adjusts midair like him, makes contested catches like him. And I think he's like maybe a little bit over 6 foot or 6 foot, 190. So he's kind of like a not massive receiver, but not tiny. And I kind of like that hybrid size there.
6'1", 195.
So I like that. Because we have a 6'4" receiver in Tyrell Williams. And we have I think Rashad Perryman's 6 foot-ish. And he's more of a burner.
Speedster
But
guy.
yeah, your guys' thoughts now. Those are the two guys I'm keen in on. But I'm open to being convinced about anything else.
I'm also in the camp of safety or wideout. I think both will help. And I'm not super picky either way, honestly.
Okay.
But the only negative on Brown that I read,
Okay.
so he ran a simple route tree in college. So he's got to get better at that, expanding that.
Okay.
And also he's more of like a vertical receiver, which is like Perriman, so you would be adding another one in. But also Perriman's not the future, so I can see adding Brown would be good as well. And also it depends on the depth of each class. I think there's still decent receivers later. I don't know as much about the safety pool.
Me neither, safety-wise. I don't love the receivers that are left, and that would be in the third round. This is the safety pool that I guess we have.
I like going defense here since some people in the war room saying that we reached in the first round and should have went defense. I think we need to build up the defense, especially early in the draft, and then try to develop young players later in the draft for the offensive side, which some people argue the offensive side for the Lions is a little bit better than the defense.
Yeah.
So I like safety or even another corner here. I know it's probably a question mark, but adding depth at corner and more competitive players on the team wouldn't hurt. And that Javion Holland, he's kind of small, and I've seen him play multiple positions. Some places have him listed as a safety coming out of the draft, but Pro Football Focus has him at corner.
Okay. I like...
Sort of between...
Would the fan base roast us if we don't take a wide out?
That's not how
really.
a GM should be drafting, Grant. So that's a
Well,
relevant question.
their job security matters.
And no, we will not base it off the fans. We base it off what you think is best for the team, not what will make fans happy. You can't do that.
Our GM, it said multiple times he likes the safety draft pool.
We're looking at Elijah Molden, correct?
He would beat the safety. I think that would make the most sense here.
Wasn't he like a corner? Moved safety? Like, seems kind of small for a safety.
It says he is the gold standard in the slot for this class. He earned a 90.9 coverage grade in that role in 2019. He's a little undersized to stay outside. He's a physical tackler who has the skills to move to safety seamlessly. But if it's not him, I don't see another. I see Jamar Johnson. That kid's pretty good, but based on his ADP, it'd be a reach.
Yeah.
He is good. I like that kid a lot. I don't know if he'll be back to us later. If he is, I'd feel like this Molden pick would be a reach, to be honest, because I actually really like Jamar Johnson. But he might go. He's ranked high, but I don't know where he's going to get drafted. I know for a fact that Diami Brown will not get back to us, so we know he'll be gone. But sounds like from you guys, it's like, okay, if we don't necessarily get him right here, Molden will not get back to us.
If we think Jamar Johnson's getting back to us, then I'm fine with the receiver, but I don't think so. And then it comes to like...
Well, I think he will because he's getting drafted in the hundreds, and we have 2 picks in the 70s.
We'll see. I'm good with receiver here.
Whoa.
I'm looking at the safety pool, and I think there's some dudes. And now that I'm looking at the receiver pool after what you said, I have a lot more safeties higher than I do receivers coming up.
I have my eyes on some cornerbacks in the 70s for our next 2 picks that I think are 2 good ones there, so I'm comfortable with them getting to us in that range. Are you telling me to take Diami Brown? Because that's who I would do. But I'm going to feel like an idiot if Jamar Johnson goes, but I don't think he's going to go.
I guess I'm telling you to take a receiver. Diami Brown.
The pick is in.
We did it for the fans.
With the 41st pick in the draft, Diami, that's the thing, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Diami Brown out of North Carolina. We have entered the 3rd round. We have back-to-back picks again, which is a weird feeling. I guess I didn't realize that when we made the trade with Denver that we'd be getting 2 back-to-back picks. It's nice to have, though. Oh no. The cornerback I wanted left. think it makes it tougher for us. I hope one's there. No! Oh, they took Eric Stokes. Oh, no. But look who fell.
Jamar Johnson.
Whoa, but wait.
That's who I'm picking.
We could also really go after our linebacker core in this draft. You see who fell?
I do see that.
Whoa.
Who are you talking about?
Evan, you
Jamin
go.
Davis?
Yeah, you go. You had thoughts.
I don't think we should beef up our linebacking core. We signed a couple players to fill the role and see what they can do. So I don't think you should reach for another linebacker when you already drafted one.
Okay.
Yes, in theory, beefing up your linebacker core in one draft and getting 2 young studs is smart in some ways, but I think for our team right now, I think there's other position needs that you need to also address.
Jamar Johnson is a ball hawk. Big interception guy.
So you like him?
But sounds like he can't tackle.
Really?
He's a liability as a tackler and missed 13 of his 49 attempts last year.
Okay.
That's a bad average.
That's really bad, especially for a safety. You need to be able to tackle, especially when the Lions don't really have a linebacker or anything or a D-line, and the running backs get into the secondary quite often.
Well, there's
You should have
Ardarius
read into that before, and you said you liked him.
Well, now I'm reading it, and I don't like him as much anymore. I liked his film.
So
It's flashy and good.
The devastating thing is that Eric Stokes and the cornerback from Syracuse went right before us, and those are the guys that I would have loved to take right here.
Certainly need a corner.
We did sign
I don't like linebacker here still, though.
Quentin Dunbar. So there's 2 safeties.
He's not.
Let's take a peek at our edge rushers. Those are always fun to have, but I don't have any strong opinions on any of these guys. That's on me as my scouting. I didn't scout really these guys, so I don't know. Some of them are ranked kind of high, but I've heard of Shaka Toney. I watched him play a little bit, but he's way later. Chauncey Golston's way later. Quincy Roche later. Any names standing out to you guys?
No, just the edge rushers. The
Too early.
ends, the edge rushers in this draft are pretty
The interior
thin.
interior guys? Tommy.
He's kind of small.
I like Nixon, but it looks like his ADP is a little bit later.
The Osa, I'm not even going to butcher his last name.
From UCLA, okay.
He's been flying up some draft boards and some draft rankings recently. I don't know a lot about him, but I know his name is on a positive trend.
Let's just take another wide out.
Really? What about this Ardarius Washington guy?
Looks like he's a little undersized from
small.
the scouting report.
He's 5'8".
Plays
Little.
bigger than is listed.
He's 5'8".
All right, so you don't like him.
No,
Pass.
too small.
All right.
Dang, it would be nice to have Elijah Molden right now.
Would be. It would be.
Wasn't
Benjamin
but you were
St.
worried about
June,
when
you passed on him. Our boy Pete. Shout out Wyatt.
We're taking him in the
you were worried about
the fourth.
you were worried about
I'm worried about a lot of guys.
where Molden was like where he lined up, like he slid over.
Well, it seemed like he was more of a corner than he's more of a
You're seeing
He
where
was a slot safety, and you give our new secondary coach a weapon to develop.
It's too
into
late,
that
guys.
role.
We can't live in the
We
past.
could give him 2 here. We could give him one of the 2 here. Or they're not good enough for the Lions.
The best corner on my board available is Kelvin Joseph. Same for you. Bit of a roller coaster on tape,
Yeah.
but he played really well against Alabama and Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee's
So it sounds like he's a flyer kind of pick. He's got to be in the right system. Which we don't even know what our system is.
I just don't even see any.
There's no one.
I don't see any
standing
like
out,
this stands out as like it's a no-brainer pick.
like Jalen Darden.
Oh, Denigbo. I've heard about this guy. I think he's pretty good.
Edge
He's
rusher.
6'5", 276 with 35.5-inch arms. He's a versatile defender who can move up and down the line of scrimmage with ease. He can affect quarterbacks from any alignment. I mean, that's a great sales pitch. I'm not gonna lie. And
you're persuaded easily in the war room.
Yeah, he's in the 80s. Well, that's what happens when I don't have a full prep. It's like I read one thing, I'm like, oh, who's this cornerback from Oregon? We almost took one last. We thought about one last time.
Granted, it's difficult to go this deep into the weeds about this many.
He started since he was. Well, that's why teams suck at drafting.
Yeah, but they have higher scouts for this.
Graham started since he was a true freshman for Oregon and was one of the best corners in the country as a sophomore and junior before opting out in 2020. He earned coverage grades of 79.8 and 82. He seems good. Just a classic guy that fell because he sat out.
The highest on my board of all these positions is the Kentucky corner.
So Calvin Joseph is who you want. Mr. You love cornerbacks.
I hate cornerbacks. At 3.
Right.
What about Milton Williams from Louisiana Tech?
I might be biased to little schools. I'd almost rather go the Ohio State interior guy if I had to pick between an interior guy. I kind of like this Vanderbilt guy. I like this Odenigbo.
I think that's a reach.
He's going with the 81st pick in most drafts, it seems like, and we were at 70.
Well, guys, we have 2 picks here, so
Yeah, I know. This is going to be awful.
Oh, right. We're back to back.
Yes.
All right. Let's take the speedster out of North Texas. I really like him.
You want to go wide out?
No, I'd get cremated for that.
I worry about that guy.
Speed, electric. But, I just be Jamal Agnew 2.0.
I think about the NFL and the only one that I think is
Tyreek.
is it. I watched Percy Harvin supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
I watched Tavon Austin supposed to be that guy. They were not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't think that position fits our scheme, what we're trying to do.
True.
And I also
Probably
think
not going to be
when I
big
look at
speed
when I look at
slot
the
guys.
offense, I think about more of just skill guys, not wide out position. Like we have DeAndre Swift, we have Hawkinson. I don't hate our skill guys. We have skill guys that can play football. We drafted Brown. We have Perriman, who's fast. We have guys.
Could have had Kyle Pitts in our draft as well.
We could have drafted Kyle Pitts.
All right. I'm going to go back to the Kentucky corner again. I think you need a corner, and he seems like he flashes potential greatness. So,
But I just wonder, why does PFF have Jamin Davis and Jamar Johnson ranked, and even Ardarius Washington ranked so high, and they're
I like
us.
Jamar Johnson, but his tackle rate really scared me away.
Sorry, I don't want him if he doesn't tackle.
And we need a tackling safety. And the other safety available, Ardarius Washington, is 5'8". One's 7.
How big is Kelvin?
He is 6'1", 192. Really good corners.
I like that size.
Really good corners.
Big size guy.
I'm big size guy. Always size matters. I like the a little bit of a project to give to our secondary coach, like I said earlier.
Yep. We have a great secondary coach. Best in the league.
I'm in for it. You guys want to take Kelvin Joseph?
I do. I want to take Kelvin Joseph.
Sounds good. Book and ship and send it.
Big Blue Nation.
With the 71st pick in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Kelvin Joseph, cornerback from Kentucky. Now we're on the clock.
Yeah, we're on the clock, and I already know where we're going. We're going edge rusher. We're going Grant's sexy pick.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a project, and you're going to develop them.
We're going projects in round 3. It's not great.
Before I click
Your
it,
team is a project right now. You have to develop talent, Alex. Not every person you're going to get is just be able to plug and play.
so let's think
No,
about.
I agree.
We're out of the first round.
I'm not disagreeing.
Let's think about our edge rushers real quick before we do that. We have Flowers, who in this war room we don't love. We pay him a lot of money. We like Okora. We resigned him. I would say Okora's brother. The book is still out, and we don't know. He got injured. He could be good.
He's the backup. Trey. We have Charles Harris.
You kind of need 3 solid edge rushers in this league a lot of times, so you can rotate people out. And we don't know if we have 3. So
we have 1.5.
It's not a bad pick.
We have 1.5. We definitely need.
Do we need interior D linemen more?
We have Brockers
And Pennisy?
Pennicini,
Yeah.
and
Pennicini?
Sean Hand and Nick Williams. So, I mean, you're a little deeper interior-wise. I think I like Evan's thought process.
And if we go 3-4, then you have less.
It'd be great to know what the Lions were running. It would probably help.
I think we're going 4-3.
Ooh.
Sounds like we don't know. Maybe
We don't.
4-2-5.
We weren't given that. We're just in the war room.
Maybe a 3-3-5.
Where's he at? Where is this Odenigbo guy on your big board, sir?
Yes, just give me a second.
Our regional scout.
He's a little bit
Oh no.
lower.
Oh no.
So
We're reaching, aren't we?
He is.
We're so reaching.
I gotta see if there's anybody in front of him of note. Is Joe Tryon available
No, I don't think.
from Washington?
No.
All right, that's good. What about Levi Onwuzurike?
No, he went.
All right, then it's looking like he is my highest.
Edge rusher?
Edge rusher.
But overall, though,
I have a
Is
lot
it-
of receivers and other things over him, but
he took
like
one.
Jalen Darden,
Is over him?
Dang.
he's one spot
No.
above.
I like his name
And then
too.
I have Tommy Togai next after him.
After Odenigbo,
And then Bobby Brown the third.
that's an awesome name from Texas A&M. I mean, obviously, I'm okay with Odenigbo because I stumbled upon his name.
6'5", 276, 35.5-inch arms.
He just tore his Achilles at the Senior Bowl.
Oh, God. That is a big blow to this draft. So our case for Jamin Davis was his intangibles, Evan. 6'4", 234, 4'4" at his pro day. Highest vertical jump ever recorded by an off-ball linebacker. Athletic tools to be your do-it-all starting middle linebacker in the NFL. Stuffs the run and has great play diagnosing skills. And can
So he's a
cover.
middle linebacker, correct?
It sounds like he would flourish in a 3-4 defense.
That's the problem is we
We don't
said
know what we
multiple times we don't know what defense we're going to run, but from a defensive coordinator, he ran a 4-3. Dan was in that system for a couple of years, so I would assume they just carry that same system over.
In one of my things, it says he would fit perfectly in a 4-3 scheme as well. And he'd fit great with teams like Washington, Detroit, and Kansas City.
Whoa.
But also, we really don't know what the Lions run on defense.
No, but if we run multiple, it sounds like a guy that can do multiple things.
Sounds like he could be like a Bud Dupree type.
I
Bill
think
Dupree was a defensive end that played linebacker. He was an
That's
edge
kind of
rusher,
how I
that's what he
see
was.
this dude. But maybe
me
better
think.
at covering.
I think the whole war room can agree it would have been better if we had gotten the safety.
Elijah Molden.
I'll take credit for that. Then we could take Jamin Davis easier because we're spraying it out. But I think we have to move on to the next pick, and that's why I started to come around on Jamin Davis because I was like, well, everywhere I look, he's by far the highest rated guy left on this board. Like, by far.
For sure is.
And I remember
Teams might be trading up.
I remember hearing that there was rumors about a week ago that he could go in the first round. I think they've slowed down now, but I'm like, if he's still here, then and it is weird. We'd be taking two players from Kentucky's defense back to back.
And 2 linebackers, but it's absolutely needed in Detroit.
So, I mean, if he's the best linebacker available, at some point you have to draft a player that is just the best player on the board, and
This
you
might
make
be-
him fit your scheme no
this
matter
might
what.
be the time.
And with the roster that the Lions have constructed over the past couple of years and the bang-up job Bob Quinn did, I wouldn't be upset with drafting Jamin Davis right here.
All right.
And also, I would agree because Josh Palmer, the knock on him is also route running technique and expanding his route tree. We just took a guy that had that problem,
We
so
did.
maybe let's not take 2 of them.
So-
Next receiver we take should be great route runner.
So the 72nd pick in the NFL draft is Jamin Davis out of Kentucky.
Big Blue Nation strikes again for the Detroit Lions.
I never thought going into this draft we'd be taking 2 Kentucky defensive players, but we did. All right.
Like,
We're on the clock.
Well, our boy Jamar Johnson is still
Can't
there.
tackle.
He's
Can't
still just
tackle.
hanging around, probably for a reason.
Maybe we go quarterback here. The future. Ian Book.
I want to see how Evan reacts to that.
What do you think about Ian Book, Evan?
No.
Dude, like with our last pick, but we don't have a pick that late. There's too many good guys left.
Well, we're in the
Yeah.
3rd round still.
Yes.
We only have 3 picks left. We
Yeah.
have 101, 112, and 153. We only have 3 picks left, boys. We got hit on one of these.
I think Jalen Darden could be just the sleepiest sleeper of all time.
No, Alex, we still have depth at positions we still need.
What do you want, Evan? What do you want?
I
defensive
think we could
interior?
go an interior defensive lineman.
So
That's
we
what I thought
went.
you'd say.
We have a tackle. We got linebacker times 2. We took a cornerback. Is that it? And then we took a wideout.
Mm-hmm.
So we've made 5 picks. 3 on defense, 2 on offense. So pretty balanced. It's pretty wide open. Our needs that we haven't addressed according to this are the safety position. But we have beef with Jamar Johnson. And then an inside, what Evan said.
I'm out on Darden.
Really, why?
Just read some negatives.
Do you see how much he flip-flopped? And he was like, that was
The
so...
first-
He's going to take us, have him take him and take him out.
Well, the negative it's just like mind-blowing negative for someone that you have to be a speed guy. Now, his first negative is lack of height possesses mismatch problems. Of course, totally fine. The second negative is what took me aback that says he lacks a true second gear and home run hitting speed. If he doesn't have that, what is he?
He's just like he's like shifty Tariq Cohen.
I need him to be Tyreek Hill that can blow by everyone, and I guess he's not that.
You know,
And his other negative is he has baby hands. So like you.
Yeah. Okay. But like, that's why Tyreek Hill is so special because he
blows by everyone.
Well, and also he makes contested catches because he has good hands. But like,
they might be small.
You don't always find those.
Is there? No, Bobby Brown the third is definitely gone, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's there.
Bobby Brown is there. He's an inside rusher. So is Milton Williams. Can you give us some D&D on these two guys? Because it seems like that might be what we're zoning in on.
Bobby Brown is higher. Wait, the Louisiana Tech guy?
Yes.
Oh.
No, Milton Williams, Louisiana Tech, Bobby Brown, or the Osa Odighizuwa from UCLA we talked about last time.
Bobby Brown, we talking about him? He's a bit of a surprise to declare for the draft.
Why?
So I guess he wasn't that good. He will be a better pro than college player. That's your PFF. He's 6'4", 321. So he's just absolute unit. Explosive 3-technique tackle who plays with outstanding fundamentals and fires off the snap with excellent pad level. Gets leverage, shows agility, and alters his angle of attack, and moves well laterally, aggressive, and tough to move. Negatives. Struggles to get off blocks, and he's easily knocked off balance by the initial block.
Ew.
But that's it. That's all his negatives. He's a 3-technique tackle or a 1-gap defensive
And
lineman.
then from Milton
Williams from Louisiana Tech.
I'll look at the UCLA guy.
The intangibles.
I already got the UCLA guy, Grant. Don't worry.
6'4",
about that.
280.
Love that. So skinnier.
Not as big as the other units. Negatives. Not a quick or sudden lineman and lacks great first step.
So similar to the Bobby Brown, where like initially they're not great.
Initially. But he's smooth and plays with outstanding pad levels. Almost the exact same. Except he's not as good laterally chasing down backs.
And then UCLA, Evan?
He is what they call a tweener. In most of the defensive positions, he's too small to be like that anchor 1 tech.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not quick enough to be like the big, fast, like 3-tech Aaron Donald type. But they also say he's quick enough to stay in gaps. He might not be strong enough to like shed a blocker or push the offensive lineman around. He plays with a like disruptive energy and constantly working his way to get into the backfield. And one of the big strengths was his experience at playing almost every single position on the defensive line.
Huh.
Weaknesses, like they said, he's a tweener. Lacks focus and control when pass rush. And he is often gets knocked around a little bit during a run fits.
What defense do we think we're going to play?
Multiple.
4-3.
Milton Williams is a great fit for the 4-3. Bobby Brown III is a better fit for the 3-4.
I love the name Bobby Brown. Yeah, he is because he's huge. So he's like your middle of the formation guy.
Right.
Bobby Brown?
Big dude, can't teach size.
I can just picture someone saying that in the war room, like on draft night.
You can't teach size. You can't. Those other guys just aren't the same size.
Jamar Johnson?
Can't tackle.
Have we taken a safety?
No, and he's just sitting there again like Jamin Davis. But we might be the dumbest guys in the room that these guys are falling to us. He's rated 94th on this board, along with Quincy Roche. I don't mind Quincy Roche. He's an edge rusher from Miami. Probably played right next to Jalen Phillips.
Let me see Jamar Johnson's weaknesses on this site.
I mean, he's not. We're in the 100, so no one's going to be bulletproof.
No, but
It would make more sense to take him here than last round, so at least we waited a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not. If he can't tackle, that does stink.
explosive against the run. So it sounds like he bangs into him and then can't pull him down. Solid in coverage, mixes it up with opponents. Isn't fast getting to the flanks.
He picked off Justin Fields. Not that like 100% matters, but he made a great play on a Justin Fields ball, who will be in the NFL. He read his eyes to a T and picked off a post.
He fell this far.
But we already took one cornerback, but that Tay Gowan guy you said you had rated high.
I do.
I don't know, man.
And I still have Jalen Darden rated the highest of all of them, but he has small hands.
And he has no breakaway speed when he's a speed guy.
Yeah. I'm voting for Jamar Johnson. We need a safety. I realized we didn't draft one yet. You know, you can teach tackling. Can.
Can't teach Will and Hart, buddy.
Sounds like he's got a good motor.
I'm okay with any pick here because there's not a guy on this draft board that I like right now.
Yeah.
So
It's an awkward spot to
I
pick.
agree.
There's just a lot of...
I wonder if there's people in the draft room that are just like, yeah, draft who everybody. I don't like anybody anymore. And they just like give up.
They definitely just get bored.
Yeah, Jamar Johnson, draft.
All right.
Lost.
Well, you can't really bust this late.
Round 3?
Well,
Third round pick.
Cameron McGrone just went. I knew he was worth something.
He is. He's in that range, in that Osa guy. I think
Shakur Brown's our next pick, and it's undeniable.
Really? You
I
want
think I'd
double,
rather get Sean Wade than Shakur Brown.
Sean Wade's gone. I saw him get
double up on corners? When we have Okuda and Awarrior?
Evan Jordan, we could have drafted him.
We're back. Josh Palmer, no
Everybody
brainer.
that we were considering is still here.
Yeah, is there anyone where we can do it? We can reach
Jalen
for?
Darden.
Jay, you start going position. Go through position by position, not just the entire big board.
All right.
Some of those positions we're not going to touch.
What kind of positions do you guys want? We have 2 picks left.
Edge rusher. No.
Oh, do we just go back to the either Milton or Bobby Brown?
I go Bobby Brown. No brainer.
Bobby Buckets? Evan, are you passionate about anyone at this pick?
No, I'm not. No one's really jumping out. This draft class is probably pretty top heavy. And who do I know? I'm fine with drafting anybody, basically.
All right.
Was it your scouting report, Alex, on Quincy Roach? Is that who you just?
Yeah, he was pretty
Yeah,
bad, wasn't he?
It's not great.
Yeah, you just belittled his confidence. You know.
Yep, no thanks.
Millie Bobby Brown?
Bobby Brown the third. Congratulations, you've just been drafted by the Detroit Lions. How do you feel? Sorry to get to work, coach.
Ambry Thomas.
No thanks.
Biased.
So I'm thinking Cornell Powell's the move.
We only have one pick left.
You calling your shot.
And I'm thinking Cornell Powell.
I guess I would either want
Or Amir Smith Marset.
in we could always get an edge rusher if there's there or a wideout. We'll see.
Ooh, Marnie Rogers. I wouldn't mind with that.
Cornell Powell in our face.
After riding the bench most of his Clemson career, he was forced into the lineup last season.
This was Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
He only played last
And
year.
responded brilliantly. Nice size
Nope.
receiver. With
We already drafted
reliable
wide receiver.
hands. But we need more.
Couldn't we take another Evan?
He projects
You
as
could
a
always
fourth receiver.
pick guys up.
Like who?
Undrafted free agents.
Like
And you work
Jalen
them out,
Darden.
you find them, and there's going to be veterans that are going to get cut during training camp. There's going to be some
Is our guy Pete Warner available?
during training camp.
No, he went a long time ago. Any positions you guys have
I
your
would like
eyes
to see
on?
who's available at court.
All right, there you go. No, I don't like any of them. I'm going to be honest.
Shane Buechele can't throw. Felipe Franks can't. Sam Ehlinger can't. Ian Book can't.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe a running back?
I would not like to, but
I agree, probably not. I
No,
think we
there's
should go
I don't think there's any in that list that are
guard.
No, because we got a tackle / guard.
I think we could go guard.
Well, our starting 5 line is pretty set,
You
and we have a
need
backup.
depth, Grant. You can't have one guy. Linemen get hurt
Sure,
quicker than.
but
any
I think
other
we do have
position.
depth. We'll have depth.
We have.
So listen, I can tell you,
No,
this
I
is
can-
our starting line: left tackle, Decker;
Yeah.
left guard, Jonah Jackson;
Yeah.
center, Ragnow.
Yes.
In our scheme, because we're coaching, we're going to shift Vaitai to right guard because he gets paid too much not to play.
He's already at right guard.
And then we're going to put in Slater at right tackle, and then we have Crosby and Stern or Stenberg to back him up, both them up. Because Crosby can play tackle.
Stenberg.
Stenberg's a guard replacement. Crosby's our tackle replacement. for
Why
now.
not just have one more guy?
Because I don't know any guards at this range, and I know Cornell Powell can catch a lot of contested footballs.
He projects to be a fourth wideout. And we have Cephas, Perriman, Brown now,
Brown's awesome.
Khalif Raymond as a speed
Skill guy.
Tyrell,
Khalif
Geronimo Allison.
Khalif Raymond, punt returner, kick returner guy.
But I
He
also
caught
watched
a
him catch
touchdown
passes
in the
last
playoffs more than the Lions have.
Well,
year. He did catch passes last year. I did witness it.
You want to take David Moore out of Grambling State?
No. Evan, who do you want?
Dig a little deep.
This is why no one goes this.
Great, we have to go past the first 6 players.
This
on
is
the
why
list.
no one goes deep in drafts because it's boring and we don't know the guys. There's Shakur. I saw his name pop up. Oh,
Great.
John Davis.
Ballhawk.
Puka Williams.
Jonathan Cooper.
Evan peeked up at Sean Davis.
That's So what do you want to draft? Cornell Powell?
I've
That's
already
it?
said it like 3 times.
Athletes.
Is there any little
Defensive
speedsters
athletes.
out there that we can take?
I don't like those receivers. I don't like them. I don't think they work.
Yeah, in the right situation, you need a little speedster guy.
Can't
A little
think of
end-around
many.
Jamal Agnew action.
I'd rather have a Debo Samuel end-around guy.
Well, we don't have that choice right now.
No.
That's why you could take a risk and try to find Tyreek Hill right here.
No.
Then you want to
They
take
don't.
fourth-
He's a freak anomaly. Those guys typically don't work unless I'm missing on a bunch of names that are obvious.
Who are?
Who? I listed off 2 that failed miserably. I don't need Tariq Cohen. I don't need that.
Tariq Cohen's not that good.
He does sound good?
He's not that good.
Tariq Cohen is not that good.
Right.
I agree. Little guys usually aren't great.
They're like nearly impossible.
But I just don't know what you want here other than Cornell Powell.
I want defense.
I want a good player.
I want defense.
Sell me on a safety because the safety pick was probably what we hated the most in our draft.
I like Auburn.
You could sell me on an edge rusher. What's this Chauncey Golston guy? I don't know why
He's pretty good.
the Iowa logo always stands out to me.
It's pretty raw.
But I don't know any of these guys. The only guy I know that I've watched play with, I've watched Shakir play. I like him. I'm not opposed to that. We took a corner. I don't know if that's a position we need to beef up the most. And then I've seen Cornell Powell play, so that's what I'm basing it off of. And I also see their names towards the top, so I'm like, oh, why not just take them?
Evan, I'm letting you decide on this one.
I already voiced my opinion. I want defense.
Yeah, but you got to say who you want, Evan.
I don't know. I'm okay with any pick here, Grant. It's your
Well,
judgment
don't say
now.
that because then I'm just going to go rogue.
That's okay. We
We're
know who
gonna-
you're going to pick, and
We're going to have a second wideout on our team.
that's okay.
All right, Cornell Powell, congrats. You'll be in free agency in less than 6 months.
The only thing I'll say is since we punted on wideouts and linebackers with our very first pick by drafting 2 at each, it makes me feel better about the overall position of those groups. You know, like instead of, we didn't spend the top 10 pick, but we took 2, so hopefully at least 1 can be good. And then you'll feel better about
Solid
both those
reasoning
positions.
Solid.
We drafted Cornell Powell with the 153rd pick in the draft. I can't wait to see how PFF graded us. Let's just jump.
Probably really
Terrible.
effing
Lions draft is over.
Oh boy. We got they gave an F to Slater.
What can I say?
That's unbelievable. I guess I make Alex feel good. Our total draft was an A-, so our other picks were rock solid. So
Every other pick was an A-.
yeah.
Why'd they give us an F?
Probably because
Because you guys are dummies.
we just didn't. Probably because it was the only guy on this that wasn't a need by them. But we can argue you can still take a tackle. What are we talking about? That's why. But
F, guys. I mean, that's pretty clear that I was right. and you're wrong.
I've never seen an F on this.
I mean, F is full on worst thing you can get.
Failure, fraud,
And you
fumble.
failing the 9th pick before the guy even plays.
So, anyways,
Bad luck.
the
for you
results for if you skip to the end and want to hear the results, we traded with the Broncos. We got a second and the third. Took Rashawn Slater, tackle, Jabril Cox, linebacker, Diami Brown, wideout, Kelvin Joseph, cornerback, Jamin Davis, linebacker, Jamar Johnson, safety, Bobby Brown, defensive interior lineman, and Cornell Powell, wideout. What are you guys' takeaways from the draft?
I would just say that drafting beyond the 3rd round gets pretty boring, not exciting.
I
Because
feel the
you
same.
really don't know any of these people, and if you do, it's like because you saw them once, you know nothing about them. They
Or
probably
it's a
didn't
job,
make an
yeah.
impact, or you have to do it. And my only other takeaway is that I just would be furious if the Lions took Rashawn Slater at that point, especially. I'm not a Kyle Pitts guy or a wide receiver at 7 guy. If they take Slater and Pitts is there, I would be disappointed, to say the least. Based on what I've heard about, what I heard about Pitts today is that he's going to be franchise-altering good. And I haven't heard anything like that for Rashawn Slater.
But you didn't want to take him when I said I'd take him.
But I didn't think we were trading back for Rashawn Slater. I thought we were trading back for the best defensive player in the draft, and I got outvoted. But it's good to see your guys' pick was an F. So good job, guys.
Evan, any takeaways?
No, I mean, it's because it was not position of need.
No, I understand. I'm just messing with you.
But otherwise, our other linebacker picks could flop because we didn't draft Parsons there. We wouldn't draft like 2 linebackers in that situation.
You hope one of them's decent.
Later in the draft, there's not as many named talented guys like in the past from like Power 5 schools that you know. I think in the draft in real life, I think it's gonna be interesting to see who falls, obviously, and who rises. And then like some of these gems or potential gems later in the draft and how real teams see them. Since we saw most of the names, they might spark our interest. Be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that guy. He was projected 4th round. And like Alex said, once you pass the 3rd round, it is difficult to find somebody that you're going to fall in love with.
That's what scouts are for.
And now you see why teams want to hit on gems. And later in this draft, I wouldn't even care if the Lions traded up later in the draft when we only had like 4 picks.
I think this is just proving to me that if you're in the top 10, you absolutely need to hit on that pick. Absolutely need to.
And they miss all the time.
This draft is different from other drafts. This draft isn't as deep, and they've said it. It's
top
skill player deep early in the draft, and then later rounds it kind of fades out.
Yeah. So maybe a position player early on isn't a terrible idea.
Plus, it's weird just because like so many people sat out. So and you can't do as much scouting because you can't go like talk to all these people. No combine as well. So my takeaway was I think the only thing I regret was when it was mainly me when we punted on Molden because I wanted Brown, and then the safety class like just evaporated, and then we had to settle
for Jamar
later for Jamar.
Anti-tackle.
I like that we were able to get Davis later. I mean, he fell for a reason, but he's been rumored to be top 40 player in the draft, so I like getting him there. I don't know. It's not a flashy draft, but I think it's a deep draft because we traded back, and I think we balanced out positions of need pretty well. Like, we didn't put all our eggs in one basket any place.
I think if Mel Kiper and Todd McShay were breaking down our draft afterwards, I don't think they would love it.
Why?
Just because we have no flash factor.
But we don't need that. We're gritty.
No, we don't draft for the fans. We draft for our squad and our man, Dan Campbell.
We're going to run all over teams with our offensive line. And hopefully our defense with this much talent infused into it can figure things out and not give up 28 plus a game.
You know my thoughts on our first pick, so we're not going through that again.
No, of course. That's all. Follow the socials. The biggest plug I want to say is if you're listening to this, you should be listening to this before the draft. We plan to do some form of live viewing, live stream for the draft of our reactions. We'll have the details for that on our social accounts when we get it all worked out. On Twitter and Instagram, we'll get the link up to where you can watch us. Looking like Twitch as of now, but we got to do some logistical work to figure out that setup. But hopefully, you'll be able to watch along with us. And if you miss it live, then we'll just post a clip of what we thought in the moment to the Lions' moves on Thursday night. And then other than that, the normal @ShotOfMS on everywhere except for TikTok. And then emails at shotofmichigansport or shotofmichigansports@gmail.com. Follow along for any clips, the video clips of the show, likes, comments, interact with us, debate about our draft. There is a great place to do it. And then please, as always, if you haven't already, please rate the podcast 5 stars if you could. Leave a nice review. I think we've got like 15 reviews now on Apple Podcasts, so it means a lot. It helps people find the show. Share it with a friend. Send a link to people. And then YouTube, I think we got about 20 subscribers. So on there, that's the easiest way to know when we have a new video come out. So if you just subscribe on there, then you don't have to worry about it, and you'll just get it. So that's the obligatory plugs. And then, as always, cheers.
Nothing to cheers for me.
To the NFL draft.
The draft.
Draft.